Hallelujah! Holy crap! I'm back, guys. And, well, we're back in Unova. Although there is one difference. My name is different. Yep. I decided just for simplicity's sake, given the fact that I want to do some variety stuff in the future, I've made a slight name change just to make things a little bit different. So you should see that on the back. You should see that with an intro, a little intro thing I've made, and hopefully a new image on the home page for my channel. I still need to think of it. Hopefully, if future me is actually on point with this, I should also have a new profile image as well. But we'll see. Maybe future me is on point. Maybe he's lazy. I don't know. Future me can answer that one. Anyways, we're back in Volt White now. So what has happened? What has happened that has caused a month-long delay? That has caused quite a long delay between episodes. Well, quite a lot of things actually. First, I'm on a new PC. Well, I say PC, it's a desktop. I decided to make the call to get a new desktop after some helpful advice from some friends of mine over on Discord, who pointed out that the laptop I was using previously was running suspiciously slow. So, doing some investigating, we found out why. I needed more RAM. So now with a new desktop and having been fully acquainted with it now, I feel like everything's ready to continue. However, one other catch. This is not the same save file I left off with. We might be in the same location, however, things are ever so slightly different. This is a new save file that I had to get all the way back up here to, so things might look slightly different. Here's the team though. Got a Ralts here, a pretty good one at that took me forever to find. Got Flaffy here, and we have Royal here, our starter. I tried to recreate things as best I could, although some things might look slightly different, but I did the best I could. Anyways, now that everything is sorted, let's get back to where we were, shall we? We need to chase Team Plasma. They ran inside here. Chance, if your Pokemon's HP is fine and you're ready to go, right? Let's go. Let's head in after Charon and go find him. Chance, this bothersome bunch doesn't listen to reason. That child cannot use a Pokemon to its full potential. Doesn't that make the Pokemon sad? It's the same thing for all your Pokemon, so hand them over to us now. And yet, we'll just take them. Here we go. First battle back on the channel. Let's go. Oh yeah, one other quick thing to mention. Episode 4 was the last episode that I ever uploaded from that laptop. So this is the first video to YouTube on this new computer as well. So hey, extra bonus. Anyway, let's do this. Sivine the Sculpin. Okay. Well, so far so good at least. This Ralts I'm hoping will be a key asset to the team. You'll see why later. Numel. I'll stay in for now. Oh right, I forgot to switch it back to Seth. Whoops. I'll have to remember to do. I'm gonna have to remember to do that after we get out of this battle. Uh-oh. Nope, we're good. And down goes Numel. So far so good for Ralts. Actually doing pretty well here. And level 16. Nice. Houndour. Okay, now I gotta switch. I can't fight a Houndour. Intimidate. Right, you have Intimidate now. Okay, that's Shockwave. I could paralyze you, but it's the last pawn. No point doing that. Let's just take it out. Whoa! That's pretty good. And Shockwave again. There we go. I didn't read what he said, but hey, we won our first battle back. Well, how can we lose? We have right on our side. Not bad, she is. Okay, now go return that Pokemon to the girl. You don't need to return it! How troublesome. Not only do you fail to understand, but you actually got in our way to boot. And there's 2 of you and 2 of us. We'll show you our combined power and teach you that we are right. So, there were more of them. Still, why are Pokemon robbers acting so self-righteous? James, we've been friends for our whole lives. We've got to turn each other's backs on the accounts. Let's show them. I didn't catch the last part of that sentence because I didn't hit A too fast. Whatever, here we go. Into a multi... Yep, it's a 6... They have 6 Pokemon total. But, here's the thing. You should still win this fight easily. They have 6 Pokemon between 2 of them. You have all your Pokemon on your side, plus whatever Cheren had in the previous rival battle you had. So this fight shouldn't be too hard. Unfortunately, we can't check into what Cheren has, but oh well. First I'm gonna switch to get the hell out of Dodge because I'm scared of what that Voltorb's gonna do, and I don't know if I can one-shot the Zubat. Spark. And that was on... Okay, you targeted Cheren. Whoa! Damn. That sucks. And Bite. Yep. So I knew... Rock and roll on. Alright. Shockwave. Go for Spark again. Alright. Shockwave for me. One hit. Nice. Alright. Rock Blast. Come on. Do it, Rock'n'Rolla. Even though you're not mine. Do it. Aw, couldn't do it. Pochiana. Alright. Let's Shockwave you as well. Spark. Again. This Voltorb just loves using Spark, huh? Alright. There we go. Level 18. And Headbutt. Aftermath. Okay, I didn't know Voltorb had... I forgot Voltorb had that. We'll go... By the way, if you're wondering, hey, why haven't you gone over these Pokemon yet? Simple answer is, we can't catch them yet. I'll go... Once we can catch certain Pokemon, I'll go over them. But until we can, I'm going to not go over them for the time being, if you're new to this. It's just for simplicity's sake. Anyway, there's 2 water types on the field, and there's a rock type on the field, so... Why did you target me? You could have targeted the rock type, you could have hit the rock type right next to me, but you chose to confuse me. Okay, down goes Rock'n'Rolla, what's next? Speed Boost. That's what's next. Pansage. Uh-oh. Okay, we static there. Never mind. By the way, can I ask question? Okay, after I hit myself. Oh, that's what's gonna kill me. No! But, wow, that kind of cool sucks. And that Carvanha has no defense. Alright. Wait. Okay, never mind, they're both on their last one. Right. Okay. I'm gonna switch and get the heck out of there, but anyway, random question. How the heck did Cheren beat you have a Pansage, so that means you have Duo. So that means you have Pignite. How the heck did you win with this team? How the heck did you win with this team? He has a. How did you win against Cress? Like, I know that this is the exact same thing Sugar Conroy said, but how the heck did you win? Like, at least I can understand how the heck I won, but how the heck did you win? Did your Staravia just sweep everything? Did your Staravia sweep everything? Or what did you do? Because half your team is weak to water. Half your team is weak to water. There's multiple Pokemon that have ice moves there are multiple Pokemon that have ice moves, and your parent stage is under level. All right, let's finish up this Tentacool and get out of this battle. There we go. Plasma, what? Did we lose? I cannot believe that Team Plasma lost to such kids. In order to liberate Pokemon from foolish people, we will take their Pokemon. Whatever. What a waste of time. Come on, what reason could you possibly justify stealing Pokemon from people? Pokemon trainers like you are making Pokemon suffer. What do you mean? Trainers are making Pokemon suffer. I don't get it at all. We'll give you back the Pokemon, but be aware of how this Pokemon suffers from being used by people. Someday, open your eyes to your own complicity. Trainers bring out their strength in bring out their Pokemon strength. Pokemon are believed their trainers and respond to that. I don't understand what makes Pokemon suffer. Okay, I'll return the Pokemon. And now that he's gone, we can freely roam around here. First, okay, I did remember to buy Super Potions, so past me wasn't a complete idiot and forgot to do that. Actually, nope. Okay, thank God. Thank God I can't use teleport in here. That would have been a bit of a waste of time. Anyway, now that we're here and we can walk around freely, I think it's time to go over the new encounters you can find in this area of Wellspring Cave. We can't surf or anything at the moment, but we can at least encounter stuff, and you're really good. As much as I want to talk about you right now, I will go over you in a second because you were not the first thing on the list. So, anyway, getting back on track now. Is this the first Pokemon? Nope, but I guess we'll start anyways. Woobat! I don't know what to say about this thing that isn't already said by other people about this thing. This thing is bad. It's not very. It's just not a fun sight. It's just not a good Pokemon in general. Like, Psychic Flying is a good type combination, but there are Pokemon that are doing way better. There are way better Pokemon that can do it. Heck, if you wanted the Psychic Pokemon, we have access to stuff like Vault. We have access to stuff like Vaults in the Dream Yard. If you want a better flying type, go get Staravia, go get Starly, go get Spearow. Hell, even Pidgey might work in this case. The point is, there are way better options. There are way better options than picking this thing. And as you can see in the bio, it doesn't get much better. It gets only 2 new moves added to its roster. Neither one of them are game-changing. And the stat changes are nice. But there are still better Pokemon out there that you would probably be better off using at least. I can say that at least Swoobat's 2 abilities are decently useful. Unaware at least makes it easy. It helps if you're fighting a Pokemon that's spamming stat changing moves. But Simple is probably the better of the 2 for obvious reasons. If you haven't seen Simple in action, just go look at Bidoof and Beaver use Simple. That's freaking nuts. Also, TM46. That is Thief, which is right here. 40 power, 100 accuracy, and it can steal the target's held item if you yourself are not holding an item. there you go. So, getting back on track. Oh, I should have bought repels. Well, repel or not. Next Pokemon on the list is a classic, Zubat. Yeah, we're talking about Zubat, and I like the Zubat line. So what? Well, this line is pretty good. It gets some new moves to work with, but that's not the main thing about it. The main thing about it is that if you keep the Zubat around long enough, you'll eventually be able to get it up to Golbat and then Crobat, which, as you can see, has got some new moves to play with, and some damn good ones as well. Heat Wave and Nasty Plot, even Brave Bird, which is good if you want to run a physical set. It is amazing. Right. Seamus, thank you so much for getting the Pokemon. Thank you so much. The two of you got your Pokemon back. I'm so lucky to have friends like you. Thank you, mister. Please take this as a thank you present. Oh boy, right. That. I'll get into that in a minute. Ooh, that's the fishing rod. It lets you catch Pokemon from any body of water in the region. I'm gonna see this girl on her way, so see you later. Bye bye. And away they go. Anyways, getting back to the Zubat line. This line has been pretty solid ever since Crobat got introduced, and it's still good now. You can always make use of this thing. It's a fast and reliable poison type, and it got even better in this game with some extra things to boost it. I will say this though. I would recommend trying to get Infiltrator for an ability if you can. If not, Inner Focus works just fine. But I feel like Infiltrator is the better ability of the two to have in this situation. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Inner Focus is the better ability. But regardless, you can go with whichever one you feel like. Next thing on the list, Geodude. I really don't like this line, and I couldn't tell you what, and I really couldn't give you a straight answer as to why. I just don't like this line, personally. Like, from a personal aspect, I don't like this line. But in a battle aspect, this line is really good. It's just that I myself don't like this line. I can't give a completely straight answer here. It's just that for some reason I don't like it. For one reason or another, I just simply don't like this thing. But enough about me complaining about my dislike of this thing. Geodude itself. What's good about it? What's good? What's bad? For good things at least, you can get Rapid Spin now. So you don't need to worry about Pokemon sending up spikes against you or other things like that. Two, as you can see, Golem gets some of the elemental punches. Something very useful to have if it can come up for type coverage. Especially if you can come up against a slow water or grass type. But the bigger thing is like Golem. You can get Golem thanks to this being a ROM hack. And man, oh man, Golem is something else. Also, with a buff sturdy ability as well, this line actually can do a lot better too. Just make sure you don't get Rockhead. For the love of God, don't get Rockhead. Rockhead is useless on this line. Just make sure you get sturdy for all that is holy. Make sure you get it. Otherwise, you are screwed. Anyways, that's enough on Geodude. Let's meet its Gen 5 counterpart, Rock'n'Rolla. What on earth do I even say about this thing? Incredible defense, slow as heck, but it can also explode. and it gets some interesting moves, some semi-decent moves as well. But still, you don't want to have this thing explode. Don't have this thing blow up, because that is kind of scary. That is low-key scary. And if you get this thing, and if you pair this thing with Sand Force, oh boy, you could actually be in some trouble here. But anyways, getting past that, if you pick up Roggenrola and eventually get it up to a Gigalith at level 36, you'll get one of the best tanks in the entire series, bar none. It's slow, but it's a massive physical wall that is going to be extremely hard for other things to take down. So, yeah, just make sure you use it mostly as a wall. But its two abilities can help you determine what playstyle you want. If you want to be slightly aggressive, you can pair it with Sand Force and maybe go for a Sand Team. Or pick the safer option in Sturdy, so that way you can be a reliable tank no matter what hits you. The choice is up to you on this one. But regardless, it's still very good, and I can recommend this thing as a wall. Anyways, next up is one of my personal favorite Pokemon, Aron. Oh boy, I've been waiting to talk about this one. I've been waiting to talk about this one since I figured out it was in this area. Aron. I love this line. This line is so incredibly good. It was good back in Gen 3. It was good back in Gen 3, and it's still good now. Hell, it's even better now in this game. Why? Simple. Simple. Sturdy, and Autotomize. What is Autotomize? Well, Autotomize is a move that Aggron can get now. Basically, Autotomize will make the Pokemon lighter, but it basically acts like agility otherwise. Very, very useful. And since Aggron can get Sturdy for an ability, I think you can see where I'm going with this. You can use Sturdy to live a hit, use Autotomize so then you have speed, and then you can just flat out destroy things with Iron Heads and Iron Tails, Dragon Claws and Rock Slides, critical hit Stone Edges, head smashing things left and right with Rock Head, nailing other steel types with Superpower, or even outspeeding them with Priority Bullet Punch to get in that last little hit you need. It's insane. This line is just so much fun. I can absolutely recommend the Aron line. It isn't as bulky as Roggenrola is, and it isn't as bulky as Roggenrola is, but it doesn't have as many type weaknesses as the Geodude line does. So I feel like it's a happy medium. It's a decent Pokemon as a tank, but it's not a complete wall either. And I'm gonna just skip over this because Cherry's just talking about Double Battle Grass, so don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. The only thing to know about Double Battle Grass is that you run into higher level Pokemon over there. Anyways, carrying on. Aggron didn't get very many changes aside from the new moves I listed, but still, Aggron is very good. It is very strong. I like the Aggron. Or Aron, I guess, because that's what you find here. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. Next up, Whismur. Why are you here? And why are you here of all places? No matter, you're here, you're here, and we do gotta talk about you. Whismur is an interesting case. It's not the best normal type out there, but it's certainly not the worst one. I just don't know what to think about it other than it's an okay Pokemon, but I just don't know how exactly you're supposed to use this thing to its full potential. Like, is it a physical attacker? Is it a special attacker? Are you supposed to run it mixed? I can't fully answer that one. What I can say though is that it got a brand new ability to work with that is very good. Make sure when you catch a Whismur, make sure it has Rattle for its ability. because that rattled ability will eventually become scrappy. And imagine hitting a ghost type with Boom Burst, with Boom Burst doing that. Yeah, that would be that is pretty good. Oh, wait, what am I doing? That's a ground type. Anyways, the point is, Whisper, Louder, and Exploder. I don't know. They're really good. It's just that I never understand how exactly to use them. But it does. Whisper definitely does have the moveset to work with, but the choice is yours on what you want to do with it exactly. Because honestly, you can go either way and you can make it work. Plus, it at least has the variety it does have the variety of moves to make it a viable attacker, to make it a viable physical or special attacker. So, again, choice is yours on how you want to play this. Anyways, that is Whisper in a nutshell. It's good. It's mixed in a lot of things, but it's not a master of anything specific. Anyways, next thing is the happiest Pokemon to ever have lived. In other words, Wooper. I know I'm taking on what Sugar Conroy said before, but Wooper is awesome. How can you be so happy when you have no arms? Anyways, despite having no arms, Wooper is no joke. I mean, you can see for itself. It gets an interesting level 1 move right there, and it gets some okay moves before it evolves into Quagsire. Quagsire itself is the OG water ground type, but despite being able to catch Mudkip on the roof right next to the cave, Wooper is still a very solid Pokemon regardless. It might be slightly bulkier than Swampert, but a little bit slower, not as good in attacking, but it's still a good Pokemon regardless. I think you'll be fun. I think you can make this work just fine. Just make sure that you pick the correct. Just make sure that you pick the right. You have the ability that works best for you. Because you never know. Because trust me, Water Absorb is good. Unaware can also work in certain situations, but make sure you get Water Absorb, please. No, it would be a bad idea. It's probably a bad idea to not have that. Anyways, I don't have much else to say. Oh yeah, right. Wooper can learn Ice Punch. Yeah, just think about that one for a sec. Anyways, we're moving on. Next on the list is Bronzor, and god damn it, I gotta talk about this thing again, don't I? Really? Oh boy, Bronzor, and by extension Bronzong. I don't think these are good psychic types. They're good as walls, but they are absolutely terrible at actually dealing damage. Their moveset just doesn't seem to complement itself at all. I mean, you can get some. I mean, it has some okay. Its defenses are great. Its stats are good. It's just that realistically, you're not. This thing is only good for being a wall. And honestly, if you want a good wall, pick Aggron. Pick Aggron or pick Gigalith. No, really, I'm serious. Those two, Aggron and Gigalith are better. Aggron and Gigalith are better because they can act unlike other walls. They can actually deal quite a bit of damage still. Unlike this thing, which can't seem to hit the broadside of a barn. But it is what it is. If you want a wall that has that has two pretty good abilities, then by all means, go for it. Oh yeah, for some reason though, Drayano thought it would be funny to make this thing be able to learn Fly as a Bronzor. Why? I don't know. You bring that up with him. because I have no idea. Oh yeah, also make sure you have the ability you want. Levitate is good, and Heat Proof is good. Just pick the one that you think would suit your team better. Personally, I think Levitate is better because having an immunity to any earthquake spam is great. But anyways, I don't have much else to say on Bronzong, Bronzor or Bronzong, aside from the fact that they're good walls. They are really good walls, but they are not attackers in the slightest. Not at all. Anyways, next up is the Pokemon we saw all the way back at the beginning of this long stretch of bios, Axew. I really wanted to talk about you earlier, but I wanted to go in order just for consistency's sake. Anyway, we finally get to talk about you. I love this line. I used to actually hate this line previously, but doing a playthrough in black, and a playthrough in black 2 while using you has made me change my tone a bit on this line. I think this line is actually fairly solid. Fairly solid all overall. In the base games, in the normal games, it gets pretty good moves to begin with, and it gets even better getting access to Fire, Thunder, Thunder Punch, Aqua Tail, and even Iron Tail for some coverage some better coverage against Ice types. It is very solid, and I am happy that I'm using it. I'm actually happy that I'm finally getting to use one and see how good this thing can actually be. Just make sure, although I might say one other thing. Make sure you get Mold Breaker. Don't get Rivalry. Oh yeah, make sure you teach it Dragon Dance as soon as you can. Because D-Dance with this thing can make this thing a monster that cannot be stopped by any stretch of the imagination. Like, this thing is really good. Anyways, that aside, use it as a sweep. Use this thing as a sweep. Use this thing as a setup and sweep, because that is what it's good for. If you need later on, we'll get access to the Eviolite item, which will help you until you can fully evolve this thing. Just like with a lot of other Pokemon, Eviolite makes this thing useful in its middle evolution. So take advantage of that if you can. Anyway, but yeah, I don't have much else to say. Just make sure you get Mold Breaker and teach it the moves that you think would best suit a potential sweeper. Anyway, last but not least, for the normal encounters in this area, Teddiursa. Of all the other Pokemon that could be in the cave, you're probably one of the ones I would expect to be here, But anyways, Teddiursa, and by extension, and also Ursaring. What do I think of these two? Honestly, I think this thing could be really good in this game. Look at its moves. Look at its moves. Its base stats aren't terrible either. You've got something that you can work with here. Again, you got a little bit of work you need to do with this thing, but there is something that you can make this work very well. And those two abilities as an Ursaring are freaking genius. Triano made the right call in terms of which abilities to go with here. And I'm happy, and I'm glad he did that. Guts can work so well in so many situations, but also Sheer Force is a genius idea as well. Getting to get a free extra damage for just using a move for just not having a side effect of your move is perfect. Literally the new moves that most of the new moves it gets benefit from that. The only two being Drain Punch and Close Combat. And even then, you need to remember, this thing can learn return. This thing gets stab bonus from return. So this thing could be a monster. You just need to pick the right moveset to make it the most out of it. But I have faith in you guys, so you'll be able to do that. Now, just go out there and sweep the crap out of everything with an Ursaring that won't be stopped. except maybe if I had Steel type or Ghost type. Anyways, that aside, I need to go over a couple more Pokemon now. Then special encounters. And yes, since we had the fishing run, I'm gonna start going over fishing encounters now, and I'll go back over the ones I'll go back over the ones on the previous routes as well in rapid succession. But first, let's go over the Dust Cloud encounters you can get in the cave. Drover. This thing is interesting. In the original Black and White, this thing could only learn one Steel type move in Metal Claw. In the remakes, in the second games, it was able to get Iron Head. Now, this thing is just all around pretty solid. And hey, you get that damn Iron Head that you couldn't get in the first game. So that's an extra bonus. But Excadrill in general is pretty solid. Excadrill and Drillbur are pretty solid Pokemon. I feel like they probably could be ever so slightly better, but who am I to judge? I mean, if it was my case, I would probably do something really stupid here. But regardless, it's a very solid mon. It's a very solid ground type that you can pick up for yourself. But you will get more chances later on to get an Excadrill so keep that in mind. You don't need to catch Drillbur now if you don't need a ground type. But anyways, that decision's up to you. Next to the special encounters, it's Diglett. Yep, this thing. It is the definition of a glass cannon. Diglett is the definition of a glass cannon. Why? This thing's got no defense at all, and very low HP to boot. But it can be a pretty solid sweeper if you can get it set up correctly. But again, you gotta be careful here because it is not gonna tank a hit from anything really. Unless it resists it, then maybe. But still, don't use this thing as a tank. Use it only as a sweeper and nothing else. Anyways, that's really all I gotta say on Diglett. There really isn't much else I can say. It has no changes at all. No new moves that it can learn, and it gets a boost to its attack, but that's really it. I would recommend getting Sand Force though, because Arena Trap can kind of screw you over in some situations. So unless you're trying to use Diglett to keep something in place, like I don't know, a Pokemon that can run away or something later on, then I would just use Sand Force because hey, there are some it can come in use handy sometimes. Anyway, the last of the Dust Cloud encounters. This is a good one, a very good one. Gible. Yep, you can get this little guy right here and now for the second gym. That and the fact that you can pick up Atsu as well is even more incredible. The Gible has always been a solid line ever since its debut in Gen 4, and it's no different in this game either. It is very good. You can get teaching it. You can give it Aqua Tail now for even more type coverage. It gets outrage as well. Extreme speed for priority if you want it. That is just insane. I don't know why he decided to give Rayon decided to give it Gible even more room to work with. But man, oh man, this thing is good. And you can get Ruskin as well, which is even better. So hey, there you go. I would probably go with Ruskin for the ability, but you can go with whichever one you feel like. The choice is up to you. Anyway, oh yeah, Garchomp can fly now. Yeah. So you thought your pseudo legendary was good enough? Well, guess what? It can get even better now. This motherfucker can fly. So have fun with that one, guys. Flying Garchomps. Now I need to go over the fishing encounters, and I'll try and go over these as quickly as possible. I'll put their full bios on screen as well, but I'll try and get through these. I'll try and get through these as quickly as I can possibly go, because we have been here for a while. So Barboach, and Whiscash, a water ground type that gets out, a water ground type that is somewhere that it gets outclassed by the Mudkip line, but can probably outclasses the other water ground types that are available in this game. Is it the best option? Probably not. Is it a decent option? Yes. But I don't know. This one's a bit of a toss-up for me. The choice is yours on this one. Although make sure you get simple. This thing can learn Dragon Dance now. So make sure you get simple. Teach it Dragon Dance when it gets it, and just annihilate everything. That can be really good. But it takes a while to get there now. But you never know. Anyways, next up on the list, Tentacool. If Sugar Conroy can use a Tentacool and make it work, then this thing is probably really good. Tentacool has always been a special defense tank, and that's no different here. This line is still very good, and the fact that it gets access to Confuse right now is even better. And this thing didn't really need any changes or fancy moves to make it work. It is pretty good on its own. Just make sure you get Clear Body as its ability, because Liquid Ooze is only good if the Pokemon uses a Draining move. And the only draining moves that would probably even hit you are grass types, which you can counter with an ice or a poison move anyways. So just make sure you get Clear Body. Anyways, last of the fishing encounters is Shelter, which you can also find in Rippling Water 100% of the time. The only notable thing for the Shelter line that I can think of off the top of my head is the fact that Skill Link is a very good ability, and Skill Link is a good ability, and pair that with Shell Smash on a Cloyster, and you can have something that's very dangerous and very hard to stop. It is still a glass cannon though, and using Shell Smash really puts you at risk of getting one shot by basically everything. But you never know. You never know with this one. It's a bit of a toss-up. Oh yeah, Shelter's also useful in another way. If you happen to find a Slowpoke, Shelter can be used to evolve Slowpoke early. Just have a Shelter in your party and level it up with a Slowpoke that is also in your party, and Slowpoke will evolve into Slowbro. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I would go with Skill Link on this one, but Overcoat might be useful in some rare situations. But the choice is yours. It's a glass cannon regardless, so just be careful. Anyways, still carrying on with this. Speaking of Slowpoke, hey, Slowpoke! Slowpoke is on Route 3 if you so choose to use it. And since you can find Shelter literally right next door, you can get a Slowbro right here and now if you want it. Is it the best idea? Probably not. There are probably moves you can learn at higher levels that might be worth your time. But hey, an early level Slowbro could potentially be a good tank for you for the short term if you need it. Now, Now then, next thing to note. Next thing to note with Slowbro, aside from it being slow, of course, is that this thing can be pretty good at just sweeping things with special attacks. And the fact that you can get Aura Spear as a Slow King is even better. Although the choice is yours on which one you want, which one you want to go with here. Because Slow King is probably the better choice, but you need a King's Rock to be able to evolve that. And you never know. You never know here. Also, Regenerators is a very good ability to have as well. I should mention that for Slowbro. Drizzle is also a pretty good ability, considering that this was the game with the Weather Wars. But you never know. I would pick the ability that best suits your playstyle. If Rain suits your team better, then go with Drizzle. If you want to be able to pivot in and out, then Regenerator is probably your best bet. The choice is yours on this one. What else? Oh yeah, Poliwag. I really wish this thing was less cool was a little bit better, but for some reason I just don't like Poliwag. I don't know. There's some Pokemon I just don't like from Gen 1, and this is one that I just don't like for whatever reason. But hey, you never know. With this. Poliwag and Poliwhirl by extension are pretty solid Pokemon regardless. And obviously, if I'm mentioning Poliwag, the Poliwag line, I also gotta mention Politoed. But first, Poliwrath gets Vacuum Wave, Drain Punch, Ice Punch, and Close Combat for new moves, which is very good. In fact, that could be something right there for you, is given the fact there are no real move tutors in this game to begin with. That could be something for you. Also, obviously, with Politoed, you need to King's Rock and level it up at night. Just a heads up. But yeah. In terms of abilities, you never know. Oh yeah, actually, now I think about it, Poliwrath doesn't have Drizzle anymore. It's got Swift Swim, so you can't actually use one of the Weather Kings in this game anymore. So you're basically forced to use Water Absorb unless you're still convinced on using that Water team of yours, that Rain team of yours. The choice is yours on this one, but hey, both monsters are still good in their own right, and both can work really well depending on your playstyle. Just make sure you get Water Absorb, please. What else do we got here? Chinchou. This is one that I find really underrated, and I don't know why. At least amongst the people that I've spoken with about Chinchou. I find this mon is good. It's just a pretty good HP tank. It's a good HP tank, and both of its abilities can be fantastically good, depending on the situation. You never know, because Water Absorb is a good move it's a good ability to have. Water Absorb is always a good ability to have, and Volt Absorb gives you immunity to electricity. So hey, you got two great abilities that you can work with here, giving you an immunity to one type or the other. So depending on what your team is, can determine which ability you go with. But both abilities are very good and will at least give you an immunity to one type. Could be crucial. And the fact that you get HP back as well for that is even better. So again, go with what you think is better of the two abilities and roll with it. This thing gets some pretty decent moves as well. You can teach this thing Blizzard and Signal Beam of all things. And if I remember correctly, you can get Aqua Wind for this. Future me can prove me right or wrong on this one, but still, there's a lot of potential here. So make that potential count. And one other mon on the other mon on Route 3 for fishing is Remoraid. Do you even remember this thing half the time? Because unless you remember Octillery, you're probably not going to remember Remoraid all that much unless you wanted a Mantine. So yeah, I don't know on this one, Chief. Again, this thing can be good. This thing can be okay. This thing can be decent as an Octillery, but again, people mostly remember it for being the thing they used to get Mantine. But it does get some alright moves to use, and it's got an alright ability as well. So you never know. This thing could be this could be your guy for a water type, or it couldn't. I don't know. That one's up to you. To decide. Oh yeah, Moody is freaking stupid in this game. If you get Moody for an ability, good luck and have fun with it. Cause my god, that can be a cluster and a half to deal with. What else? Oh yeah, Quillfish. Again, another Pokemon that people probably don't even remember. This thing is like forgettable in a lot of ways. I mean, do you remember since when have you ever thought about Quillfish? Finally found a R on the Sturdy. Took long enough. Anyways, getting back to Quillfish again. This thing does not get a whole lot of moves to work with here, or at least nothing really notable. It does get Poison Touch and Intimidate though. That could be something that you may want. However, again, I must stress, it is a Quillfish. There is only so much you can do with this thing. So, yeah. Make that decision. If you want to use this thing, make the decision wisely. Although, again, its abilities are pretty good, so hey, maybe that might be the thing that makes you choose it. I don't know. I don't make the rules. You do. Starrington City's also got some Pokemon you can find there. The main ones being Psyduck and Staryu. Now, oh yeah, and also Basculin, but we'll get to that one, and we'll get to each one of those. Psyduck. What do I even say about this guy? You should have been called Golduck, and the other one's Psyduck. I don't get that. I still don't get that to this day. But what do you get when you pick up Psyduck for your team? Do you get anything? Do you get a good Pokemon? Well, kind of. You kind of get a good Pokemon, but honestly, I would give this one a hard pass because really, it's a decent mix. It can be a decent mixed attacker or physical or special depending on what you roll with. But I don't really see a reason to use this thing when there are better water types out there. Honestly, its two abilities aren't very notable either. Swift Swim, I guess, if you have a rain team, but if you want a Swift Swimmer, then just pick up something from the Poliwag line. Both of those lines can learn Swift Swim as well. Honestly, this one's probably a hard pass for me, and I would recommend a hard pass for you guys as well. As funny as this guy was in the anime, it's a pass. Other Pokemon of note in Starrington City, Staryu is way better. This thing is so good to the point that it brought up the term of fifth move syndrome, where it's got so many good moves that it should really it makes you think that this thing should have a fifth move slot so that way you can actually use all of its good moves. Well, it gets another good move now, Aura Sphere. So good luck figuring out what your final moves is gonna be when you have so many options. We have too many options to pick from, because yeah, that's pretty much what you have to deal with. You have a crap ton of options to pick. You have a crap ton of good moves, but probably too few move slots to make use of. Too bad. But that aside, this thing has always been good, and it'll still be good even now. Obviously you still need a Water Stone to evolve this thing, but that's only a small price to pay. Oh yeah, you can get Regenerator as one of its 2 abilities now. Good luck with that. So yeah. Staryu and Starmie still very solid. Just get a Water Stone, and you got one of the best water types in the early game. Speaking of good water types, Feebas is on Route 1, and in the special water you can find Milotic. So don't hold your hopes high for finding Milotic, because it's a 5% chance. But if you find one, oh boy, you will be pretty set. You can also find Gyarados over there on Route 1 Rippling Water. But first, let's back up a sec though. Because as much as I want to go off about Feebas and Gyarados, we have other things we need to quickly brush over some other things. First, I need to mention Feebas gets Dragon Pulse at 25, and he gets Brine at 20. Aside from that, Milotic doesn't get a whole lot of other interesting things either. Main thing to note is that you evolve it, just have it hold the Prism Scale, and it'll evolve now. That's the main thing to note. Yeah, what the heck, I'll go for this. Anyway, Swift Swim or Adaptability are its 2 abilities. Swift Swim will become Marvel Scale when it evolves, and Adaptability will become Multi-Scale. Very good abilities to work with here. So pick the one that works best for how you like to play the game. Marvel Scale obviously is a very good ability, and Multi-Scale can also work really well. Just pick the ability that works the best for you. Backtracking, going back to another mod that's a unique fan favorite. Feebas's older brother, Magikarp. Hey, guess what, guys? Magikarp doesn't have to use Splash until level 15 anymore. Hooray! Albeit, its all-alone moves aren't that great either, but at least you can actually do something until you get it to level 20. So, hey, there's that. You have that going for you. Plus, Gyarados with Dragon Dance, and the fact that you get Crunch and Outrage now is extremely broken. Can be extremely broken. Good luck with it. Oh, still, it's a long ways away from being able to do that, but still, nonetheless, that's a potential option. So again, good luck with that. If you want to wait that, if you can bring Gyarados up that high. Plus, Intimidate and Moxie for abilities on the Gyarados, that's just wrong. That both Intimidate's already good, but having Moxie on a Gyarados that can potentially learn Dragon Dance, that's just wrong. Like, that just doesn't seem fair. But still, who am I to judge? Who am I to judge here? The choice is yours on that one. Anyways, we're getting near the end here. We only have a few more things to go over. Goldeen. This thing sucks. This line sucks, and oftentimes people don't remember this thing existing. If you want a water type, you have better options already available to use. So this one is a flat out hard pass. We're moving on here. There's nothing else I can really say. Moving on to more interesting things. Basculin. I told you I was going to go over this thing. You can find this in Striaton City and on Route 1 at the moment. But what on earth do you even do a basculin? Is it really? I don't know. This thing is odd. Really, and you can tell I don't really have much to say on this thing because I don't even really remember this thing. The main thing, main things to note, it's, technically a physical sweeper of a water type, but do you really want to use that when you have stuff like Gyarados available to you? I don't know. That choice is yours. Well, what else can I say about this thing? Oh yeah, it'll have a different main ability. It'll have slightly different abilities depending on which form you catch, just like in the original Black and White. If you get a red one, if you pick red Basculin, there's a chance it will have Reckless and adaptability. Jeez, can't talk. Anyway, red Basculin can have Reckless. Blue Basculin can have Rockhead. Both of them can get adaptability. But why would you get Reckless or Rockhead when you have adaptability right there? I don't know. This one is probably another hard. This one is viable, but yeah, I don't know. People don't really remember this thing to begin with, and that's probably for a good reason. Let's be honest here. Anyway, regardless, that choice is up to you on that one. Last but not least, in Rippling Water on Route 1 at the moment, you have a chance of finding Dratini. Don't hold your hopes up high for finding this thing, but if you find this thing, you're gonna have a hell of a long road to get into a Dragonite, but when you finally get there, you get a pretty solid Pokemon to work with here. And my voice is starting to go because I'm talking so long, but we're almost there. Anyway, Dratini is still very good. Dratini and the entire Dragonite line are still very solid. They were the OG Dragon types all the way back to Gen 1, and they're still very good Dragon types now. However, they do have some competition because they gotta compete with Gible and Axew, which became available just before it. But you never know. There's surely going to be people who go for it because it's a fan favorite, and others who just go for it because they like Dragonite over the newer kids on the block. You never know. That aside, Shedskin will eventually become multi-scale, and Marble Scale will stay Marble Scale throughout its life. The choice is yours on which one you want to go with for those two abilities. But, with that, I have gone over every single Pokemon that you can find now that we have cleared out Wellspring Cave. Including all the Pokemon in Wellspring Cave itself, and all the new fishing encounters that just became available. That is a lot of things, but thank God we are done. For now. There are plenty of more Pokemon that we need to see on this journey, and barring anything horrific, anything horrific happening, I will be here the rest of the way to help you through this journey through this revamped Unova region. I'll see you guys. Oh yeah, one other thing while I was going over all the files, I did catch an Aron. So what? Aron is very good, and I think this complements my team very well. As you can tell, during the bios, if you happen to pay attention, I was looking for a while to find one with sturdy, and I did find one. Serious nature as well, which is fine by me. I will roll with that. But anyways, I've been talking for long enough. My voice is a little tired. I need to drink some more water. Anyways, it's good to be back, and I can't wait to keep going through this journey with you guys. I'll see you guys next time. Midnight out.